And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Silphid, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran. Oh, Terran theme. We have the Red Terran representing StarCraft Rebellion. It is ByuN. Let's go. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the StarCraft 2 Zerg player. Going for another 12 pool. Let's go. We have the blue Zerg player himself. It is YoungYakov. So StarCraft 2 Zerg going for the 12 pool. Meanwhile, we have the Brood War Terran going for CC first. We'll see. CC first are quite common here on Silphid. Meanwhile, welcome one and all to a 3-player spawn map. We have bottom left, bottom right, and the top side as well. 3 possible spawn locations, and Yakov, he is looking for his opponent. Meanwhile, as we said, Lindsay, a big shout out to Acres de Cruz. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. 5 gifted subs to the community. That's a lot of subs. That's a lot of support. Thank you so much for the support, papi. We do appreciate it. Gifted subs to Smugbal, to Chankster, to Pigeon Wrench, to Xwit, Genstein, and to Gian Rod as well. Thank you, papi. Thank you. Thank you so much for the support. We always appreciate it. Always, papi. Always. Glad to be watching SE Evo with the CranKy Ducklings once more. Yes, we did go on a big break from StarCraft Evolution just because we've been so busy. We've been having like 15-hour casting days with like non-stop DreamHack Dallas and Esports World Cup. So again, if you're mainly sticking around for StarCraft Evolution, I do apologize, but again, we've just been very busy with DreamHack and with EWC and with GSL and with Stars Agora. Like, we've been live like twice a day, every single day, with a lot of content, a lot of StarCraft. And as a result, StarCraft Evolution did kind of fall by the wayside, but now we're back. Now we have a little bit more free time to catch up. Meanwhile, it was CC first. CC first here. The 12 pool has arrived, collapsing here on the building SEV. As the SEV is going to be zoned away. Boys are being pulled. You have to buy enough time for the Marine. Yeah, the base taking a lot of hits, taking a lot of damage, but the Marine is about to arrive, and with that, ByuN can hold. Base is taking a lot of hits, but the Marine is here. Oh, Lings there. Oh no, they get past. Oh, they do rush past. Yeah, a bit of miscontrol there by ByuN. The Marine goes down. The SCVs are going to be falling. He does finish the CC, but at what cost? At the cost of 3, soon to be 4 SCVs. Marine production still underway. Can we get any more SCV kills? Not quite. Oh, potentially one more. Yeah, not quite there. ByuN holds. Ooh, and honestly, solid defense. ByuN, he's up in workers. Likewise, ByuN, he saves the command center as well. ByuN is in a stronger position. Unlike Spirits, I mean, if you remember, Spirit, he lost like, what, 6 SCVs? I want to say, around 6. ByuN lost only 3. So ByuN defends well. ByuN does deflect. Yakov has to race back. And ByuN is in a stronger position, and behind this, going for that 3-max stim timing. Now, if you remember, Spirit attempted this. He attempted this earlier on Abyssal Reef, but because Spirit took so much damage, his 3-max was delayed. The stim timing was delayed. If you remember, he also had to like lift a racks and hunt down an Overlord, so he had disrupted production. Here, this is slightly delayed as well. You can see that we were missing out on the units, but there we go. Now we're kicking into high gear. Stim is on the way. Medevacs are on the way. Marines are amassing as well. This is going to hit like a truck, and YoungYakov did not do enough damage this time. It's going to be a tough hold. Yo, meanwhile, big shout out to Este Hyper One in the chats. Este Hyper One. Thank you so much for the likewise 5 gifted subs also to the community as well. Oh my god, thank you so much. Gifting a sub to EE1 1995, meant to say. E1995, Twitch Viewer 1, to Carmen Cola, it's Meeks, and to BBQ5. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As ByuN is looking for YoungYakov, he's searching for him. He's searching. And here comes the move out. Now he's aware. He's aware of where YoungYakov spawned in. And we're making our way across the map. Look at the, can you hear the map bias? Like ByuN pushes out as the Terran theme goes on. Ah, no. Okay, how many queens? Okay, we got 4 queens. So we have a handful of Zerglings. Not too many, though. Not too many Zerglings. ByuN stims in. Starts stepping forward. Queens, there's a transfuse. Ooh, one queen goes down. Yeah, did miss the transfuse. Second queen falls, and ByuN will just snowball out of control. Takes down 2 queens, takes down the expansion. That's going to be a kill on the third. Ay, ay, ay. And this is what Spirit wanted. This is the kind of, like, Spirit is envious. He's like, I wanted to do this. But again, Spirit took extra damage, and he was also on a larger map as well. So this is what the true stim timing can look like. Kills 2 queens, a base, targets down the roaches. And the YoungYakov, he will hold, he will defend, he will survive, but at the cost of an entire expansion. And with that, ByuN, he retreats. And remember, there's a follow-up here, getting to a 3-1-1 setup. We have U238 shells on the way. We have +1 as well, building up towards tank production, building up towards medics, or towards dropships, I should say. And YoungYakov, he's got some catching up to do. ByuN arrived just in time to have used T1 buy before it got nerfed. I mean, even after the nerf, he still does it. Like, like, yeah. You think the nerf stopped ByuN? No, not at all. If you remember, we were casting StarCraft Evolution 12, and KungFu and the other Terrans, they were still doing it as well. Speaking of Hyper 1 and speaking of more StarCraft Evolution, we are going to be casting the StarCraft Evolution League 13 tonight. That's going to be later on this evening. And that will catch up. That will catch us up as well. Will catch us up. Speaking of, because the KungFu Cup, because we only had one quarterfinals match to broadcast, we will be going over the StarCraft Evolution Masters show match after this tournament as well. So we have a full day of StarCraft Evolution. Marines, they stim in. The Queens are holding their own. We do have a transfuse. It does transfuse. And the Roaches, they hold the line. Even sniping some medics towards the end. Nicely done. Does snipe the medics. Yakov does hold behind this, going for safety infestors, and is just now going to drone up his own third base again. But late droning, late saturation. The economy here is lackluster for YoungYakov. He's still trying to catch up. Meanwhile, ByuN back at home, just chilling. Like he's content to trade like in the way that he has, trading up mainly Marine for Roach. Behind this, getting into his own 5-rack setup. Ooh, science facilities on the way. I would imagine to work towards science vessels. I mean, hey, we saw the power of Radiate last game, and we could see it here as well. And Yakov, for now, at least is committing into Roach Ravager. I say for now. From here, he can start to try to work towards Hydra Lurker Tech if he can stabilize into a proper economy. But without that, he can't afford it. And there is that Irradiate. Oh boy. Scans the main, confirms the Roach production, confirms the lair. No other tech. I believe he hasn't seen the Infestors yet, though. True, I don't think he's seen them. Now, there is a chance. Because they have not been spotted, we could try to catch out the ByuN army with a solid fungal. Yakov can try to defend. At the same time, going for a ninja base. Let's go. Going for the top expansion. Drop is coming in. Irradiate is almost done. ByuN moving forward. Drop is deflected. Soul positioning. Here come the Fungals. Oh! Not quite yet. Ooh, the Infestors, they get targeted down by the tanks. Ay, ay, ay. And that was it. That was the one chance that YoungYakov had there, was to fungal the ByuN army. Instead, the Infestors got targeted. The tanks survived. Ooh, and this is going to be a tough hold. It's going to be a brutal hold here for YoungYakov. Now, no more Infestors. No more Fungals. And here comes the Irradiate. He does him in. Allows they get the first tank. Irradiate on the Ravager. Is further back. Irradiate. The Ravager goes down. Tanks get a lot of blows here from the back line. And he just overwhelms. Yeah, ByuN just overwhelms here and now. Breaks through that defensive line. Takes down all the Roaches. Gets into the mineral land as well. We're still holding onto the Irradiate. GG gets called. And ByuN will snowball out of control, taking game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. And with that, ByuN will take a lead. Again, Yakov, alas, he wasn't quite able to get away with the early game aggression. Remember, winding it back, it was a 12 pull. It was a 12 pull out of Yakov, and he only killed 3 SCVs. That's the problem there. From the beginning, didn't quite do enough damage. Not enough to slow down ByuN, and ByuN, he was able to pop off with that early timing, with that stim timing. And what did he kill? Remember, he killed 2 queens and the 3rd base, and Zerglings and other units, of course, but the 2 queens and the base was the most important part there. With that, YoungYakov, he was playing catch-up the entire game. There was potential with the Infestors, with the Fungals, but as a reminder, when he engaged, the Infestors, they got targeted immediately by the tanks, and they were the first things to go down. And he did land a Fungal, but the Fungal landed on the tanks, not on the Bio. So with that, GG well played. ByuN does snowball out of control, takes game 1, and now we are jumping into game numero 2. Let's go. Jumping into game 2. Here we go. Here we go. As spawning in the top left-hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. Leading the series 1-0. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Zerg player, the red Zerg player himself. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is YoungYakov. Go. As of course we have now YoungYakov playing Brood War Zerg up against the SE2 Terran of ByuN. Oh boy. This time, no 12 pool. There's no 12 pool. This time we're just throwing down our hatchery, we're building up. So far, standard opener. And ByuN has been very aggressive, even when playing SE2 Terran. Like, I would not be surprised if he goes into a 3 Rax here. Like, Rax expand into a 2nd and 3rd Rax. Has been very, very popular and very trendy from ByuN, even with StarCraft 2. Once the map played the Terran music, it was over. Exactly. The map is so biased. Ay. It's okay, it's okay. We haven't hit the Terran boss music yet. Not on Abyssal Reef. So Yakov, he should be safe here to at least get into the early game. No major tech piles yet, so there's that CC on the low ground. What we are waiting for here is if ByuN does indeed go for a 2nd Rax, or for the factory. Does it go for a factory into starport into 3 CC setup? Does it go for extra Raxes? We're here to find out. Meanwhile, YoungYakov going for the macro hatchery. Again, this is normal and standard in this matchup or in this game mode, just because Brood War Zerg don't have queens. They don't have queens, they don't have injections, so extra hatcheries and macro hatcheries are even more important for Brood War Zerg. Link speed is on the way, stays in gas. This should be for a hydrogen or for an early lair. When it comes to builds here, I would say that Zerg are a little bit more limited as opposed to their counterparts. Again, we can go Lair, which would scream Muta play, or we could go for an earlier Hydrogen for like an earlier Hydra push, an earlier Hydra timing. Reaper does poke in. And not bad, takes down 2 Zerglings. 2 Zerglings go down, nice control here from ByuN. Takes down another Zergling. And behind this, you see what I see? I see a factory that is true, but I also see a 2nd Rax. 2-on-1. So 2-on-1 set up here by ByuN. Going for a 3 CC 2-on-1. This is going to be an earlier stim timing. I say earlier, this is going to be hitting later than a regular 2-on-1 because the starport's going to be delayed because of that command center. But regardless, this will be a timing here with stim. So stim with 2 medevacs and with 14 marines. Usually 14, just because we will... Oh, never mind. Oh. Okay. Usually 14 just because you often do make a pair of Hellions with this, but ByuN, he doesn't make any Hellions at all. Okay. 0 Hellions. YoungYakov with the gases going for the early Hydrogen into Hydra speed. So Ling Hydra out of YoungYakov. Third base is on the way. So far, we're still building up. Hopefully this game will be Plague or Plague or Plague or... I would say that often we don't really see that. Defiler tech is not uncommon in ZVT, but I mean, YoungYakov is going for an all-in. He's not droning. YoungYakov is not droning, he's not taking gases, he's rushing across the map. We saw this build against Spirit earlier on Monty Hall. This is the same build, same timing. Hydra speed is about to kick in, and it's all or nothing for YoungYakov. Unfortunately, he's pushing into upper high ground, into a tank, into a bunker as well. Yeah, ByuN is well set up. And we'll see if he can get on top of the tank. It's going to be the goal. Does rush in. He wants the tank. He does want it. The boys are being pulled. The tank does get surrounded. Nice pickup. Takes down the tank. It dives into the bunker. The repairs are going to be in time, though. Yeah, the bunker does hold. And the Marine... Oh, God. He's trapped. Oh, no. He's trapped. The boys come in. They look down the Hydras. He ties them up. And with that, every Hydra is going to go down. ByuN, he holds. He defends. Oof. And that was only 5 SCV kills. Only 5 SCVs at the same time. The Banshee is wreaking havoc. Sorry, the Reaper, even. Getting a couple drone kills. Jesus, that one Reaper has 7 kills. That's crazy. I don't know why I thought it was the Banshee. I just saw a flashing dot here in the main. And behind this, I mean, there's no starport. Very delayed starport. Going double eBay before starport into tank production. That's what caught my attention earlier. Remember the early tech lab, no reactor. So early tanks. So 2-on-1 tank build here by ByuN. Very safe, and it pays off. Typically in a regular 2-on-1 there would not be a tank. Oh god. So ByuN, he defends very nicely, and again is going for a delayed starport. He's going for a delayed push just to be safe, and it worked out quite well. Worked out very well here. And he's going for a later 1-1 timing. He secures his natural. YoungYakov is in a rough place. The lair is just now going to finish. Now getting into double evo chambers, into double upgrades. Now he's droning, but everything is so late for YoungYakov. And this is looking dire. It's looking dire here. Now, of course, there's a chance. YoungYakov with the lair can now tech up into lurkers, so lurker tech is on the way. With a good amount of lurkers, and depending on the positioning, depending on the engagements, YoungYakov can take a fight. But ByuN has been playing so safe. So safe. Now taking a third base. Keeping his tanks back at home. Getting as good as 3 tank setup here. Now repositioning. Third Eva chamber? I'm pretty sure that is supposed to be an infestation pit, but okay. Getting to triple Eva. Maybe he does feel the need to get into range upgrades to help support his lurkers. Maybe he feels that far behind and he has to catch up that much. Maybe. We're about to find out. We're about to find out if he starts +1 range or if he starts infestation pits. Because he's got the money, he's got the resources. Yeah, I think this is a mistake. I think otherwise, we would be starting +1 range. So I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be a pit instead. Or even a Queen's Nest. There we go. Now we have the Queen's Nest on the way. So the fact that we saw the Queen's Nest at the same time as +1 range tells us that he tried to morph in a hive, and he wasn't able to. Sorry, I was meant to say Queen's Nest instead of infestation pit. Because that's the prerequisite for Hive Tech. So, unfortunately, Hive is going to be a little bit late here for YoungYakov. Oh. Lunkers are holding their own. the overlords are so much more intense. The Brood War overlords. So do you have Ventral Sacks on the way? Wait, no, not quite. The other one. Energy upgrade. In my mind, that was the Drop Lord upgrade, but that is not the case. Let's see what it's called. Find out together. So if YoungYakov keeping up with the drop play, will deflect. And again, ByuN has just been very passive here. I spoke about this earlier with the earlier tank production. It's called gametes meiosis. Oh, there you go. Gametes. Gametes? There we go. As queens are amassing. Now, queens, they do have the ensnare ability. Queens, they're almost kind of like the alternative to an infestor in Brood War, where instead of fungals, they have ensnare. Of course, they're air-based units instead, so they're a little bit more mobile. They can attempt to lock down the army. Ensnare does last longer than fungal, but it does no damage from my recollection. Just a slow. Spell's moving in. Are we on hold position? Oh my god! Yeah, shots going off, brutal connection, but alas, ByuN will still break through. But nice start to the fight here for YoungYakov. Again, that's what he's hoping for. To catch out the army. Lurkers attempt to counterattack, but ByuN still has that massive supply lead. Drop into the main. Distracting the army. ByuN looking to move in. Pushing forward. And Yakov, he just can't engage here. The queens push forward. Oh! They do connect with an ensnare, at least on the medevacs, not on the bio though. Oof, as one medevac goes down. Ooh, second medevac as well. Okay, not bad. Catching out 2 full medevacs. YoungYakov. And you can see how long ensnare lasts. And there we go, the chain ensnare. God, he's just covered in it. At the same time, though, the drop play continues. 9 more drones going down. Ay, ay, ay. And despite ensnaring, YoungYakov is not able to collapse in. He's just been distracted time and time again. And the snare is soon to run out. He does have vision here on the tank. That's a lot of vision, Jesus. There we go, collapsing in. It does rush forward, pushing into the tank line. Gets on top of the tanks. 1, 2, 3 tanks going down. Gets 4. Takes down 4 tanks. He barely cannot get the others though. Yeah, ByuN holds. ByuN, he holds the line. Still pushing forward. YoungYakov, he fails to break this position. Likewise, he lost the expansion. Things are still looking dire here for YoungYakov, and ByuN's maxed. ByuN's maxed out. Dropping into the bases. Likewise, YoungYakov, he's just pinned back, losing base after base. Ay, ay, ay. Fungal deals effectively no damage these days. Or it's important to distinguish because fungal deals damage, it cancels snipe, and snare, because it deals no damage, does not cancel snipe. Like there's like a mechanical and important difference between the two. When it comes to dealing with ghosts. There's an important distinction. But ByuN does get behind the mineral line. Catching out 8 drones. Oof. Let's get up to 9. Likewise, you see YoungYakov attempting a surround or even a counterattack. But ByuN, he has supply back at home to defend. He's got planetaries, he has tanks, slings. They do catch out some of the tanks though, not bad. Yeah, they're all on their own. 3, 4, 5 tanks going down. A very nice catch here from YoungYakov. Ultra's going to be waddling in. But here come the snipes. Oh my god. Yeah, snipes the Ultras, but Yakov, he's holding. He's surviving. He's barely holding on. Doing what he can to survive, but again, just bleeding out. So many workers. He has the northern base, but again, no saturation. Just now droning. Trying to get into Ultra Tech. Ultras, they're big boys. Oh my god. Huge. Their stance is so wide. And again, this is how Ultras used to look back in the day. Like, they were a lot more leaner than the current like SC2 Ultras. They got lazy. They got they got thick. Back in the day, they used to be lean back. Oh my god. As ByuN pulls away, he's just fully turtling up. Again, ByuN still has a massive supply lead. Ooh, catching out the queens. To catch out the queens. Again, Yakov still trying to build back up. Now we have Ventral Sacks on the way. Defiler Mound is done. Okay. Now, technically, because ByuN is turtling up, he's still getting damaged. I mean, that's still 14 drones. Jesus. 14 drone kills. Oh, God. I was about to say that because ByuN is being more defensive, this does give YoungYakov a chance to stabilize, but he just lost 14 more workers, and ByuN's pushing. Like, he's not backing off. If given time, even with a smaller army, especially with these defilers that are on the way, Jesus. Oh god, the snipes are brutal. But even with the defilers, with things like Dark Swarm, we can take a fight. Speaking of, collapsing on the ghosts. There's no ensnare though. Yeah, no ensnare. The ghosts, they do stim away, or they do back off. Oh god. And there's no catching these ghosts. At the same time, no, not again. Another 14. 28. This hit squad of Marines, they've killed 28 workers and an expansion as well. Ay, ay, ay. There are no queens left. I was curious, but yeah, there are no queens left. They got sniped earlier, so there is no ensnare. Likewise, defilers have arrived, and Dark Swarm would be a way to try to break some of these siege lines. It could be a way. If we had the ensnare plague kind of combo here, then we could lock down the ByuN army. Could. Oh god. Snipes going up. I bet say queens win games in 1,000 games compared to other units input. I mean, there have been a lot of games that we've covered that queens have been very impactful, to the point where ensnare got nerfed. I think if I remember correctly, because previously, a couple of months ago in a previous patch, ensnare didn't require an upgrade. I don't know if you noticed, but ensnare did require an upgrade here in this game. But queens were very much so more accessible, and ensnare was a big part of Zerg compositions. So yeah, in StarCraft Evolution Leagues past and in KungFu Cup's past, I will say that we have seen ensnare be very, very strong. Catching out, three full drop lords go down. Barely any of the army make it into the main. Oh god, it's not enough. No shot. Yeah, originally ensnare didn't require an upgrade, but now it does to slow it down, just because queen timings were so strong. So again, if you watch some StarCraft Evolution like at the start of the year, that's where that was very prevalent. Meanwhile, Consume is being researched. YoungYakov, he has built up an army to work with. He's got a Scourge. He's got his Defilers, catching out the Ghost. There goes down. Forcing back ByuN. ByuN just... he has just fully accepted that he's just turtling up so hard. Planetaries are on the way. Just a wall of planetaries. 5 planetaries are morphing in, but... oh, God. Welcome to Abyssal Reef. We do get a Plague on some Ghost. Oh, God, that was a brutal EMP. Insane EMP. Sorry, not EMP. The other one. Yeah. There was EMP there on those Defilers. The Plague did graze the army. Plague on the Planetary, let's go. Well, that's the Planetaries, they stand their ground. Army's moving in. Oh, here comes that Defiler. Nice EMP once again. EMP connects. Army does collapse in. Sniping the Ultras. Again, still more efficient trades here for ByuN. Trading out a Planetary for Ultras. And we're down to how many Defilers? 4. Okay, 4 Defilers. Still here. Not much energy to work with. But remember, they can consume, and they should. They should be consuming here. Spawn Broodlings on the way. That's something else that we've seen in late game, like ZVT against mech, is spawn Broodlings to kind of like break tank lines and to break through some of these high-tech units, like Immortals as well. So Shadow collapse in. We do get a Ghost. Planetary does hold the line. The tanks do so much here in the backline. Oh, God. Again, it's not easy pushing into any of these Planetaries. But at least Yakov, he has recovered. He is maxed. For those that are curious, how do you kind of break this position as a brutal Zerg player? Greater Spire Guardians, right? Guardian is almost like the equivalent of a Broodlord in StarCraft 2. But you'd have to get out of a ground army and into the air. Oh, God, as the Ultras... they take so many hits, and the Ultras are going to melt here. Yeah, the Ultras go down. We have 6 more Ultras on the way. This is just a very expensive way to try to break through these siege lines. Not impossible, but it's expensive and difficult. In Brutal, it's only two games working against mech. I recommend watching more StarCraft Evolution. Mech is more common, and we do see players defeat mech. It happens very often. Like I said before, we see a lot of Queens being impactful as well. Drones are going down. We have 7 Queens on the way. That will help. As we mentioned earlier, like mass Queen and mass Spawn Broodling, it can be a way to just break through all these tanks. 100%. But lack of Guardian is concerning. Like, this is very much so like a one and done kind of army that YoungYakov is building up. Just pure Ling Ultra Queen. And again, he's banking up a lot of Queens for the mass Spawn Broodling. At this point, he's abandoned the idea of going into Defilers, and I agree with that. Like, Defilers pushing into these siege lines are not going to work out well. You can Dark Swarm your way through, I guess, but the siege line is just so spread out. Like, you'd need a lot of Dark Swarms to really gain ground. As these Liberators... down 20 workers. Yakov taking the southern bases. Scan reveals the army. How many Queens do we have? We have so far 12, soon to be 16. So 16 Queens. And again, just to reiterate, the plan here and to explain the ability itself, Spawn Broodling is a way to break. I mean, we're about to see it. Yeah, it just insta kills a tank. So the goal here is to just rush in and just target every single tank with Spawn Broodling. Oh, yo, he's crazy. Oh no, let that. The infestation. Oh my god, I've never seen someone successfully infest a CC. Let's go. Here we go. Oh, brutal EMPs. Yeah, EMPs, they pop off. Oh, the queens, they were stacked. They were bunched up. Aye, aye, aye. And with that, ByuN holds. ByuN does hold. Again, a brutal EMP on those queens. We needed those spawn broodlings. So he has to back off, gather up NG once again, and just wait for just another wave, another round of spawn broodling. Unfortunately, unlike defilers, they can't consume. Unlike vipers, they can't suck on buildings, so you just have to wait. Just wait it out. But again, the ace in the hole, the Hail Mary play here for YoungYakov is just the mass spawn broodling. Like, that's it. That's the only way. At least that he's constructed for himself. Meanwhile, he will lose 2 expansions, 2 bases go down. Brutal losses here for YoungYakov. We have 5 more queens on the way. Massing up more queens. I'll get out of here. Oh no! Oof. Oh, the slow float into the air. ByuN now taking some of YoungYakov's bases. Oh, Plague on the army. Okay, not bad. Does graze some of these units. Again, there's lots of control here as we do sort of the queens pushing forward.
The hive cluster is under attack.
Oh, I missed that sound. Nice plague. Yeah, nice plague on the army. Very nicely done. And again, because plague lasts a long time, that also means that these units cannot snipe. Or the ghosts, like, they cannot snipe. Rotating over, catching out some tanks. Nice movement here from YoungYakov. Takes down the planetary. Yeah, better moves here from our Zerg player. But this is what we need, right? We need to combine. We need to get a plague on the ghost. We need to spawn brooding the tanks. Ideally ensnare the ghost as well. Move in with the ultra. Like, this is still doable for YoungYakov. Oh, he gets it. Let's go! It's not going to do anything, but he does infest. It's the YoungYakov. The infestation of the CC. Now, can we get some infested Terrans this game? Can we get him? Can we take over one of these bases? Army dives in. Ooh, no plague. Yeah, no plague. The snipes are brutal. Yeah, there's no plague. There's no ensnare. Where are the queens? Where are the queens? What's going on? The queens are just chilling back. That was a brutal fight. Queens are looking exposed. Yeah, they overshoot with the ensnare. It's one spawn broodling. Oof. Losing another queen. Now, but at this point, that's all I want out of this game. Can we make an infested Terran? Let's go. Oh no. Defilers get caught. I believe those are the final defilers. Yeah, 0 defilers left. 15 queens. And they do land some spawn broodlings, but there's a brutal EMPs catching every single queen. Ay, ay, ay. Again, I feel like you have to approach this like ZvZ. For those that are curious, in ZvZ, because of how the Vipers work in StarCraft 2, you typically need like 2 or 3 different groups of Vipers, and you move them in like a portion at a time. I feel like the same has to be done here as well, where you cannot stack up these queens in such a way, and you would need multiple control groups of multiple groups of queens. Otherwise, this happens. And with that, the queens are essentially dead supply. Like right now, they're just dead supply. Whereas collapsing in. Oh Jesus! You see that ultra spinning into the air? Oh my god, that's crazy. As he does rush past, he wants those ghosts. They do kite back. They kite through all these tanks, and the tanks that will shut down the ultras. Ultras, they melt to the tanks. Planetaries, they hold their own. I'd love to see contamination here on this planetary, but alas, there are no queens left. They're still further back. And YoungYakov is broke. At this point, that was his final army, his final fight. He's going to be remaxing with 7 ultras. I believe this should be his final remax, as he's running out of money. Running out of drones, running out of bases, as he is mining out. Queens are back online. I'm still concerned that we have them bunched up like this. Like it takes like 2 EMPs to cover everything here. Like it doesn't take a lot. And we had to wait so long to gather up energy. As ultras, they go for the dive. They do bring down one of the planetaries. I wonder if it's worth just keeping one of these planetaries barely alive just to contaminate, or just to infest. Like, I do know that infested Terrans were buffed recently. I say recently, like maybe 1 or 2 patches ago they were buffed. Oh, Ghosts are on the hunt. But they were buffed because they're so rare, so I believe the goal was to make them worth it. I also think originally planetaries couldn't be infested, but that was changed and now they can. I think originally it was just only CCs and orbitals. But there were some changes like that. Does get a parasite off. Let's dodge the EMP. I'm still concerned by how clumped up we are. EMPs, they will connect. Oh god, yeah, 2 EMPs. Once again, the 3 look at the spin. Oh my god. They're twisting up into the sky. Jesus. The Ultra's back. But yeah, it was 2 EMPs. 2 EMPs caught every single queen. Oh god. Do you think it's because, like, is there like excess gas inside like the Brutal Ultra, so that when they die, like it just propels them, skyrockets them into the sky? Like like I'm thinking like a helium tank, you know? Like an oxygen tank like gets shot and then just like spins out of control. It just zooms. Is that what's happening to the Ultras? Because they've been spinning. They've been similar amount of gas in a thinner package. Yeah, so it's more concentrated. It's more dense. It's more the pressurized gas inside of the Brutal Ultras is greater than that of the SC2 Ultra. Makes sense. Yeah. In the lore does make sense. The pressurized Ultras. Oh. Nice little pickles here with the spawn broodlings. But oh no! Oh god. Yeah, as the Ghost they move in, do get ensnared, the Ultras they try to punish. And can we catch up? Oh god, oh god. Again, 2.5 EMPs, they catch every single queen. GG gets called, and with that, ByuN will take the series at 2-0, advancing on to the grand finals. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very intense game on Abyssal Reef, which is what we were used to. Again, Abyssal Reef is one of those maps that is very defensive on 6 bases. So you saw that both players could hold on to and maintain a decent economy for a while there. But I'll be honest, that was like a 25-minute death animation for YoungYakov. Like, it was, oh god, it was just a really, really rough start. He lost a lot of momentum early. ByuN was looking very comfortable for the majority of that game, able to safely, and again, this is one of the reasons why why there was so much controversy around Abyssal Reef when it was introduced into StarCraft 2, is it's just hyper defensive, and you can very, I should say, as opposed to on other maps, you can very easily just fortify and build up to 6 bases without too much issue. And we saw that there was like very little harassment. We saw some drop play, right? We saw some run-bys here and there, but for the most part, ByuN's economy was never really under threat. Like, it was always looking solid, it was always there. And it was YoungYakov playing catch-up. Now, there were definitely some opportunities for YoungYakov, as we mentioned. Like, his Hail Mary play was going into Mass Queen, but unfortunately, every time he tried to engage, he was punished by EMPs, right? Like, the EMPs would punish. We spoke about it at the time that ideally, typically, if you're stuck in a game like this, especially on Abyssal Reef, which is hyper defensive, I'm thinking of Abyssal Reef, I'm thinking of like King's Cove as well, maps that you can more easily cut in half and like secure yourself. Again, we had a wall of like 6 planetaries on Abyssal Reef. That's where like the Guardian would excel, more so than the Ultra, because the Ultra is designed to dive, to rush in, to catch an army, and to try to abuse some of these more open areas, but they don't exist on Abyssal Reef. Like, they're not there. That's where you have to take a slower approach and go into like mass. In SE2 would be Mass Broodlord Infestor, right? It'd be Broodlord Infestor. Here it'd be Guardian, like Guardian Queen Defiler, right? Instead, or even Guardian Queen Defiler Lurker, which doesn't feel good. It's a much slower style, and a lot of players don't really enjoy playing like that. I don't think YoungYakov does. So instead, he just went for the Mass Brute Force Ultra, and just didn't do quite well. GG, well played. With that, congratulations, ByuN. He will claim the series, and with that, he will advance on to the grand finals. Meanwhile, the question becomes, who will join him? Who will join him in those finals, as we are getting ready here for the lower semis, and I'm very excited. We have a ZVP between Dark and MaxPax, and again, MaxPax is a player that has been playing a lot of Warcraft 3 Evolution, which is, imagine this game mode, but with Warcraft 3 instead of Brood War, but he hasn't really played much, if any, StarCraft Evolution. So I don't know how he looks. I don't know how he performs. He did take down Milky Cow to make it to the semis, which is a very impressive win. But how does he compare to Dark? I would say the Dark, he is the best Zerg player in StarCraft Evolution. You don't get better than Dark. Likewise, you don't get better than ByuN. Like, we have the best StarCraft Evolution players in this tournament. We're just missing Hero, right? We're just missing Hero, and I guess we're replacing Hero with MaxPax here. And we'll see how he performs.